I'm glad you brought up blind spots because that's 100% the right way to think about it. In fact, somebody who I know who's done a lot of studying about human behavior and why do we do what we do says that that actually all mistakes come from blind spots, because otherwise if it wasn't a blind spot you would know and you wouldn't do it, right? And so he basically says you can almost all these, if you go through Poor Charlie's Almanac where he goes through I think the 25 behavioral biases that affect human psychology, this person would say you don't need 25 of those, you just need the one, and it's blind spots. And so revealing those blind spots is a big part of what we're after with this software, is to just help you see where are you making the mistakes.
Yeah, that's awesome. I wish I would have had that 30 years ago.
Same here. That's exactly why I was like, shoot, we got to get building this, I guess, because I'm not going to get better at the rate that I want to unless I start closing these feedback loops. But even we have some other kind of cool stuff that's lined up there. Imagine that you're just sort of journaling about a particular idea and you're just dumping your thoughts in there. We're actually building an API where it will do a natural language processing of your word choices and assign a sentiment score to that journal entry, and then overlay that on the price of what your as you're journaling about that idea, we can see how your sentiment is changing over time and show it to you so that you can get a sense of, what I think most people are going to discover is that price is driving your sentiment in a major way. How you feel about the company, how you interpret that next piece of data that comes in from a 10Q or wherever is colored by what price has been doing recently, which is not the right way to be thinking about it. You should be recognizing the fundamental numbers regardless of what price has been doing. And it's just incredibly difficult to do. We're all guilty of it. And conversely, if the price has been going down, you're like, oh God, I hate this. This company sucks. And I'm filtering every new piece of data that comes in with that sort of lens. And what hopefully our feedback that we're going to give you through your sentiment analysis will let you step out away from that a little bit and take those glasses off and be able to look at the real data, the real experience, without being jaded by whatever the recent kind of the recent price has been driving your sentiment.
Oh, that would be so cool to use and see people use.
Yeah. Amen.
I mean, I think about when you're in it, right now we're in 2022. So a lot of the way we think about the market today and whatever opportunities are in the market can be influenced by what we hear from CNBC, how we talk to our colleagues about the market, all of these things. And, I haven't been doing this forever, but it's funny to me to hear the bemoaning of people talking about 2020 and how, it should have been so obvious that I should have bought this stock or that stock.
Oh, yeah.
It's no, you don't remember the conversations that everybody was having that had so much to do, not even with the stock market, but where the world was going. And we already 2 years later have forgotten so much of that.
I mean, our memories are so fallible. It's unbelievable. And that's another big part of wanting to just write things down, is that when you can go back and see what you were actually thinking, it'll blow your mind. I mean, you will literally not recognize what was written there, but it was you. But it's crazy. And that I think being able to see that about yourself and see how much it changes you, I think is just such an advantage if you start doing it, especially if you're younger and a beginner. I mean, it's almost table stakes at this point. If you want to get better, you really have to keep capturing these things. And the problem is that if you just rely on your own memory, your memory works in that it is almost it's not this perfect recording of what happened. It's a replay of what you kind of think happened. And the more that it sort of replays, it tapes over it. And as it does that, it'll drop data points that might threaten your ego, actually. And so it will want to just get rid of those things that kind of make you question, your own self-worth. And it's just trying to protect you. It's not, it's nothing malicious, but it means that your connection to what actually was happening and what you were thinking at the time is a very tenuous connection when you go trying to just remember. And so writing it down is just such an advantage, and it's so obviously such an obvious good idea that I just really couldn't recommend it enough if you're a beginning investor.